on the birth anniversary of the first Prime Minister of the country, once again the debate about the role he played vis-a-vis Kashmir has been started. Law Minister Kiren Rijiju has been pointing out to Nehru's role extensively. He's with us this morning. So once again, you've reiterated your first article for News18.com, pointed out what you call 5 blunders of Pandit Nehru. Then Maharaja Hari Singh's successor, Dr. Karan Singh, wrote a rebuttal, so to say, and you have again countered him. What is the ground on which you're countering and calling these historic blunders of Pandit Nehru?
First of all, on the occasion of the birth anniversary of our first Prime Minister, Pandit Nehru ji, we all remember him because he is our leader, our first Prime Minister of the independent India. That apart, being in a democratic setup, everything is in the public domain and nobody is above scrutiny of the public. Now on Kashmir issue, why I have come out with another article is because there were some misgivings and some reactions which are not based on the facts but based on political ideology. Dr. Karan Singh ji is a well-respected person, senior politician, and more than that, he is the son of Maharaja Hari Singh. When he wrote an article, he accepted most of the things, but except on the instrument of accession, which took place under special circumstances, and he also was silent about his father, late Maharaja's role in the accession as well as his interaction with Nehru ji. Now, what I have stated in the article is purely on the basis of all the documents, all those words of Pandit Nehru ji himself, which he had stated on the floor of the House in the Constituent Assembly. And there are corresponding letters also, which is part of the records. I don't understand why people are jumping into the matter or the issue without referring to the historical facts. Now, from my own side, I have not uttered a single word, or I have not stated anything which is not part of the records. So when, as a law minister, I am a responsible person of the country, I have to speak on the basis of all the factual records which are already in the public domain. Secondly, I should not be trying to make any effort to change the course of the history by citing some kind of unsubstantiated facts. All the records clearly shows that Maharaja was in a difficult position because that time Kashmir was 80% Muslim and 20% Hindus. But the fact is, all the accession of the princely states with Indian Union is based on the decision of the then rulers. There was no plebiscite, there is no mass gathering for any kind of voting or any kind of activities where public or any other organizations were taken into confidence. It was purely on the basis of the decision of the then princely states where all the princely states were merged with India. And Sardar Patel took the bold initiative and historic decisions in uniting more than 560 princely states. When it comes to Kashmir, the issue is lingering and it is also causing so much of pain and agony in the lives of so many people, and more than that, it has caused so much of problem and so much of instances where India has been made a subject of criticism by the ill-designed efforts of Pakistan and many other anti-India forces. So that is why we need to correct the history. The trigger point is when Congress tried to blame Maharaja Hari Singh that he was dithering in joining the Indian Union, which is not correct at all. That is why I had quoted Nehruji that he had stated that in the month of June itself and in July in 1947, before 15 August of 1947, Maharaja tried to join with Indian Union. He had approached, but it is Pandit Nehruji who constantly deterred actually, and he was referring to taking the views of the larger population of Kashmir, and more than that, he was more concerned about Sheikh Abdullah, who everybody knows the relationship between Pandit Nehruji and Sheikh Abdullah. So Nehruji's personal interest was to protect the interests of Sheikh Abdullah.
Right.
So that is the main issue.
Yeah, on that point only, I'm just reading for your article where you make this point that as far as Sheikh Abdullah's affinity or the equation that Pandit Nehru enjoyed, you're saying that perhaps forced Pandit Nehru to not take an India first approach. You say that after signing the instrument of accession, Pandit Nehru could have asked Maharaja Hari Singh to do anything, including his treatment of Sheikh Abdullah, but Panditji switched it over.
Yes.
But while that is a matter of record, what is the motive that you're attributing? Are you attributing a motive to Pandit Nehru as to why he did this, why he took this not India first approach as you call it?
My intention is very clear, that history should not be changed. The facts in the history should not be distorted to suit somebody or some personality. When Congress kept on saying that Nehruji had no role in deterring the joining of Jammu and Kashmir with Indian Union initially, this needs to be corrected. Because in many statements which I have heard from the Congress leaders and some people who were defending Nehru's role, they constantly were blaming Maharaja Hari Singh ji. They were not blaming Nehru ji at all. Actually, they are giving clean chit to Nehru ji. That is why it needs to be corrected based on the historical facts.
You've also said that as far as the decision to go to United Nations is concerned, even there Panditji blundered. He went under the wrong article. Thereby he made Pakistan a party to this dispute instead of making Pakistan an aggressor.
Yes, because by taking the Kashmir issue to United Nations under wrong article, Nehruji had legitimized the role of Pakistan and made Kashmir as an international issue. We look at Kashmir as an internal issue. Whatever differences and problems we had, that could have been settled internally. But by making it an international issue, you have given a leverage to the separatists as well as to the Pakistan. So that was totally undesirable. That is why in the previous article also I had mentioned that the wrongs were committed and these wrong steps were undone by Modi ji by removing the Article 370 from the any of the statutes, because Article 370 has caused so much of pain in our effort to unite the minds of the people of Kashmir with India, because the Article 370 had given a kind of a sense to the people of Kashmir that they are different, they are separate, they are guided by a different provision of the constitution, they are guided by their own constitution, and the laws which are passed by the Parliament of India were never applicable to Jammu and Kashmir except those which are being kept as a special things like defense and currency and other central subjects.
Right.
So that is why it is very important for the younger generation of our country to know that historical blunders were committed and those blunders are now been corrected by a strong and very visionary steps taken by Narendra Modi ji.
So my final question, do you find merit in this argument that whatever decision was taken vis-a-vis Kashmir, even Sardar Patel was on board with Panditji till at least September of that particular year, as far as decision to go to the United Nations, as far as trying to get Sheikh Abdullah on board, Sardar Patel was with Panditji in all of this, perhaps because Kashmir was a typical case, Muslim majority, border state, did not enjoy, the Maharaja did not enjoy popular support. Do you find merit in this argument?
No, this doesn't carry any merit because as the rule applied in any other princely states should have applied for Jammu and Kashmir, and as the legitimate ruler of the Kashmir, Maharaja Hari Singh had every right to take a call, and that would have been, in a proper fit of things if Nehru had listened to Maharaja Hari Singh. And I don't know why Dr. Karan Singh ji has not taken a right stand, at least to absorb his own father.
But he's still being attacked by Jairam Ramesh for writing what he is.
I feel pity for Dr. Karan Singh ji. Karan Singh ji is such a respected person. He has been with the Congress party throughout, and he's been attacked by Congress party people like Jairam Ramesh and others. That's very unfortunate.
But he also says that, Nehru is his mentor and that he's not criticizing Pandit ji. When he was specifically asked about your article and why he has not countered you, that's what he said. He's not really holding Nehru ji accountable for all the wrongs, the blunders that you call it.
That particular stand or statement by Dr. Karan Singh ji is not guided by the historical facts, but guided by his role as a Congress leader. And he was definitely being given lots of importance and positions by Congress party. So he has stated something like a typical Congress leader.
And you also said you were expecting name calling and abuses more after this latest article of yours.
No, I have not stated anything on my own. I have not deciphered something suddenly. These are part of the parliamentary proceedings and records. So if I had used something in my own imaginations, created certain stories, then I should be attacked. But I am just putting the record before the public, and anybody can go to library and parliament records and go through all the papers which are there. So there's no reason that why should somebody be attacked for bringing a truth before the public.
Law Minister Kiren Rijiju, thank you so much for speaking to us. Once again, the minister there reiterating that these were quote-unquote historic blunders and the record of history must be set right. So that's what we are hearing from the Law Minister, who's written for the second time on the role that Pandit Nehru played as far as Kashmir is concerned.
A second